Hello, I'm Sonia, and welcome to Red Cardinal Kitchen. And today I'm going to show you how to make sweet dinner bread. Great for the holidays. So come right back and I'll show you how it's made. Hello and welcome back. Be sure to subscribe and share and click that bell to help bring more videos to you. Alright, so let's get started. I have a bowl, a large bowl, and into that bowl I want to put some nice warm milk and water. A 2/3 cup milk and 2/3 cup water, or 1 1/3 cups liquid. And I'm going to add, now it's not hot enough so I don't have to worry about cooking the egg. And it goes 1 beaten egg. I'm going to start to whip it. Alright, but it's still warm enough to melt my butter. Butter, it's room temperature, but and it so it likes to stick, hangs around. Okay, got it. Alright, and to that I want 3 tablespoons of white sugar and 1 full teaspoon of salt. I usually use 3/4, but it's going to be a little bit more flour today. And then I have left my yeast, which I'm not going to put it in right yet. So I'm going to stir everything up except for the butter, because I don't want it in my whisk. Not just yet. Now I can put it there. And so let that kind of soften up. Now I am using baker's yeast, and so it doesn't have to proof. But if you have a packaged yeast, then go ahead and mix it with some of this water and some of your sugar until it blooms. The yeast will foam when it's ready to use. I use and make so many things with yeast that I just go ahead and get the big box of the baker's type. Alright, so looking around making sure. Okay, this is pre-measured flour. I'm going to put in 1 cup first, just 1 cup. My directions are in the recipe down below in the description. Okay, get that together. 1 more cup. In this recipe, you will not be using more than 4 cups. I have 3½ measured plus a half more, just in case. And it's getting more humid in the house because of the winter months are coming. Jack Frost is coming. Alright, now I'm going to take that out and I'm going to get another cup. Like I said, it's pre-measured. And sprinkle it over the top. And then I take my yeast and sprinkle that over the top. Oh, they gave me an extra in my package. Wasn't quite that. Cute. That's the quick tip. Okay. Yes, the quick tip is, if you don't want to knead this, just get out your bread maker and set it to the dough cycle and let it knead for you. But you know, I gotta get my hands in this. Alright, so now I'll take my big paddle spoon and I'll hide the yeast right into that flour. Kind of prepare it for the liquid with the butter and the salt. Try to hide it so it won't. I don't want it to kill my yeast. I don't know how that works. I've done it both ways, but I'm just telling you what I learned over the years. Okay, and here's my half cup. And it'll get to a shaggy point at this point. And I don't want to stir it too much because then it will become stickier in my bowl, and then I'll take more time to scrape it out of the bowl, so I just won't. I'll stop there and then clean it down on the sides. Or you could do this if you're going to knead in the bowl, just, you know, then you can start kneading and adding the amount of flour that you think you're going to need. And I don't know how much I'm going to need until it happens. Okay, a little bit of milk there. Alright, so now I'm going to put a generous amount of flour down on the board. And then add my dough. Okay, a little bit too far. Okay, so it's there. And that's okay because I'm going to put my dough back into that, so that'll just lick that up. Okay. Now we get it off of this one. Okay. And then I'll move this aside. Now we can just start to fold it in. Messy. The flour. And once that happens, then I'm going to transfer it onto a nylon board. Going to take all. So if you'd like to know how to knead bread, I have other shows, bread shows, that you can see how it's done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, get this together, and knead it between 10 and 13 minutes. And we will be right back to show you what it looks like after it's kneaded. Alright, and I have kneaded my dough and I put it into the same bowl that I mixed it in. It's starting to rise. When I was kneading it, I told you when I was putting it together, not any more than 4 cups. But it looks to me like it's going to be 4 cups in and 1/2 to 3/4 more for the kneading. Maybe not at your place, but we have humidity in the air, I suppose, and I've got my heater on. I don't know. But anyway, so put in the 3.5 cups and mix it to the shaggy point. Put it on your board and knead it at least 5 minutes to 13 minutes tops, or until when you press your finger down into the dough, it'll make an impression. All right? Okay, so all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my bread that's in the bowl and place it right into my sink. It's filled with very hot water, as hot as I can get out of my tap. I'm going to leave it there for 1 hour and I'll be right back. Alright, well, I'm back. The dough has doubled I have a larger bowl, so I know that that's about double for this size bowl. So now I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on my board. We'll start with that, and we'll just let it kind of, if it gets sticky on me, I'll just wet my hand some, a little bit. And that's great. All right, so this takes longer. It's more of a sweeter roll dough, I think I would call it, but I just put it together, write out the recipe, and pass it on. Okay, so the air is out of it. So what you can do is you can press it out, turn it, and just roll it up like a jelly roll. Kind of tip the edges in, much like a cinnamon roll. If that makes it easier for you to get into the pan, just make sure that you close it up on the edges. And it'll form itself on the bottom of the pan. It won't be as smooth as the top side, but we're not going to turn over, right? Okay, and there you go. And then just put it in your pan. Now if you're making rolls, you can cut this in half and make a couple different variations with it. So anyway, we're going to let it rise for at least 30 to 45 minutes, and I'll be back. Hi, I'm back again. Well, let's go over to the sink and see how our bread rose. It's in very hot water. And this is about where it should be. So let's take off the top. Now, I didn't tell you, keep forgetting things, but I buttered my pan and then I coated it with cornmeal. This is going to go into an oven at 375. I'm going to bake it for 15 minutes and we'll be right back. All right, well, the timer just went off. Let's open the door and see what we have so far. For 15 minutes so far. Now we just take it and just kind of wiggle it right off that pan. Turn it over. And we're going to put it right back in that oven for 15 minutes, and we'll be back when it cools. We'll have a bite. All right, well, we're back, and the bread is not thoroughly cool, but cool enough to cut. So this is what it looks like. And the bottom, I don't know what it looks like where you're looking, but it's nice and brown and has that starting to soften up here, but got a little bit of a drum beat. All right, so let's cut into it. I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to turn it this way and cut from the bottom down. All right, so, ooh, yeah, it's still steamy in there. All right, so when you're cutting bread, get it going. Don't put too much pressure. Be very soft. And now once it gets down towards the board, play into it. All right, so here you have another piece. We'll cut one more. I'm daring. And it's not so hot here. It's just steaming coming out. So, this is very delicious bread. It almost reminds me of brioche bread. Almost. Alright. So, it's getting quite hot, and I don't want to break the bread when it's, you know, still warm. It might. Anyway, there you go. So, let's see. I'll put these two like that. Oop. And this is a pretty fairly big size piece of bread. I'm going to cut it into half. All right. Now, what I like to do when it's fresh out of the oven is I like to take and get a little dab of butter. Let's see, where was I? Okay, and just spread that on there. Jacket it. All right, so it's melted. And then orange marmalade, if you like it, or strawberry, or whichever, blackberry, raspberry, or just plain. And this makes fabulous toast, and if you let it stick around, if it'll stick around for 3-4 days, it makes the greatest French toast. So let's take a good bite of this. Here we go. Alexa, cancel. Alexa, cancel. Why is she doing this? Oh, she back-talked. Anyway, very soft, crispy. Also, I didn't tell you that inside my oven I put in another bread pan and I fill it halfway with water. It'll create a steam. Set it right on the right side and I put the bread on the left side, or you can do the opposite. But anyway, it's on the same rack as the bread but on the other side. And you will get that soft center like this. And this lasts for a couple days. And you'll get the crusty top. If you want it soft at the top, just put some butter on it. All right. Well, I thank you so much for watching. And be sure to subscribe. You want to click that bell. And share this video with your family and friends. So for every step of the way, we'll see you next time. Goodbye and God bless.